KPBS On Demand is supported by Pacific Arts Movement, inviting you to the 26th San Diego Asian Film Festival, November 6th to 15th, showcasing films from China, India, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. For tickets and information, go to sdaff.org.
You're listening to Everybody's Doing It with Miss Lolly. The subject matter of this podcast is for mature audiences, and there are a few words here and there that could land you in the principal's office, so listener discretion is advised. If you haven't noticed by now, most of the ideas for these episodes come from conversations I have with friends or people I meet out and about. The spark for this episode came from a conversation I had with a friend of mine who recently moved to Canada. We were catching up and talking about everything from the weather there to the state of the world to cats. And I don't know how it happened, but eventually the conversation came around to sex toys.
I have a funny story. When I was a kid, we were in sex education and supposed to or allowed to ask questions to the teacher, the sex ed teacher. And so all the kids put questions in the box, and the teacher would pull them out and answer them. One of the questions was, what is a vibrator? And the teacher refused to answer that question. I was like, well, what is this? You say that you're going to answer questions. So I asked my friends at recess, and everybody laughed at me because I didn't know what a vibrator was. But I was like, okay, well, my mom had always said that if I had questions, I could ask her. So I went home and asked my mom. I told her about the sex ed class, and she answered it in her way. I mean, I guess people are going to answer things from their place of understanding. So my mom was like, vibrators are toys for women who can't get sex. So basically women who are not married or in a relationship, according to her. And so there was a stigma about it.
We also had a discussion about where we like to get our toys.
When I was in Seattle, I would often go to Toys in Babeland. It's a sex-positive and women-owned sex shop. Presently, I buy my toys online. I found a brand that I really love. They're Lilo sex toys. The quality's good. I really like the variety. The price is a little on the high side, but I definitely use sex toys with partners, and I'm just thankful that I don't bring the stigma that my mom ascribed to sex toys.
What you use or don't use in the bedroom is a very personal decision. As you've heard on previous episodes, there's a wide range of things you can play with. There are custom-made paddles like the beauties McMason Creations make, and spatulas or wooden spoons found at the dollar store. I've even heard a thorough explanation of why an electric toothbrush is the ultimate orgasm machine. The market for sex toys and aids has been around for as long as people have been horny and creative. In fact, the oldest discovered man-made member was found in a cave in Germany. It's almost 8 inches of polished siltstone and 28,000 years old. That's right, people have been creative and horny for a long time. But this episode isn't really about toys. It's about where you get them. I stumbled upon an article called The Unexpected History of the Sex Shop, written by Mike Rampton for The Modern. Rampton described the path from Paris lingerie shops of the 1920s that sold sex books and photos, through the sexual revolution of the 1960s and 70s that created safe spaces for queer folks and women to take control of their sexual health and pleasure, and then up to the role of the internet today. But for me, the real highlight of this article was Biette Uze, which I know I'm butchering her name. And she's a German woman who pioneered sexual re-education after the fascist brainwashing of World War II that pushed having lots of blonde, blue-eyed babies. Among other things, she taught women the rhythm method, which tracks the menstrual cycle to estimate a person's fertility window. And she taught men about sexual hygiene and condoms. Uze became a millionaire by selling various products through mail order in the 1950s, and then in 1962, she opened the first sex shop and called it the Institute for Marital Hygiene. You can imagine why in 1962 the name would have to sound so sterile. Not long after, in 1970, Anne Summers opened up a shop in London that spread all over Europe, also making her a millionaire. The first sex shop in North America was opened in Montreal in 1971. They called it The Garden. Not to be confused with the Garden of Eden in Victoria, which opened in 1973 and is still offering a wide range of toys, tools, and novelties today. Long story short, in the last 70 years, and with the help of the internet, the sex toy industry has grown from secret mail orders and gatherings in homes where women sold products to each other, to millions of shops worldwide and a more than $30 billion industry. So this got me thinking. With the availability of toys from all over the world that can be shipped to your doorstep without anyone knowing it, what is keeping the local shops and vendors in business? On this season of Everybody's Doing It with Miss Lolly, I've been exploring what is available in your San Diego backyard. This time, I decided to weigh the pros and cons of going into an actual brick-and-mortar adult shop in my area. Stick around to find out what I found on my Central San Diego sex toy shopping tour.
Hello, this is Dr. Michael Lalich, Medical Director and Chief of Staff for Kaiser Permanente San Diego. For more than 50 years, San Diegans have entrusted their health care to us. Our care and coverage connect to provide medical care tailored to each member. With our integrated network of primary and specialty care, we work together using evidence-based medicine to help deliver positive results. We believe in a healthy and engaged life with good beginnings and dignified endings. We believe that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness requires total health, including equal access to high-quality, affordable health care. At Kaiser Permanente, our cause is health. Our passion is service. We work to help make lives better. To learn more, visit kp.org/San Diego.
A lot of our shopping for everything is done online. Buying sex toys and aids in the comfort of your own home can feel like the obvious option for such a private purchase. But there are many brick-and-mortar adult stores that still stand and offer a very different experience from online shopping. I was curious about the shops in my area, so I did a quick search on maps for every adult store or sex shop within 10 miles of my house. Then I filled up my gas tank, charged up my microphone, and started shopping. I went to a lot of places, folks, and I really wanted to take you with me to all of them, but unfortunately, there was a ton of audio that I just couldn't use. First and foremost, because I wanted to be respectful of the privacy of the other customers in the store, but also because a lot of the shops had things playing in the background like Christmas music or other things that were just too noisy for clean clips. But my editor, the amazing Edgar Almanar, did an incredible job of cleaning up the audio as much as possible for you, and I did get to bring you to most of the shops. So buckle up. We start our little road trip in Santee. So we are in the parking lot of the Secret Spot in Santee. And man, yeah, this place looks pretty secret. It's kind of hidden. And the logo is pretty funny. All right, let's go inside and see what they have going on in there.
Let me know if you have any questions about.
Thank you. Oh my God. Like vintage Hustler and Penthouse. What is this?
We also have like a whole case of like tester products right here.
Thank you. I was surprised by the demographic of people who worked in these stores. This place had a young woman who was in her early 20s and interested in sexual health and human sexuality. What do you think is the benefit of coming into a shop like this rather than just buying something online and having it shipped to your house?
You just get so much more information because you can talk to somebody who's like familiar with the products, familiar with how they work, the motors, the materials that they're actually made out of, like if it's body safe versus not body safe. Some products are literally made out of plastics that have like carcinogens in them, and like you don't want to be putting that inside of your body or even near your body. And then also like online with Amazon and stuff like that, there's a big problem where they don't check their returns, and so this way you know you're getting a clean, sealed, brand new product. Whereas with a lot of online retailers, not all, but with Amazon and places like that, you don't know if it's been opened, you don't know if it's been tampered with, you don't even want to think about that.
That's gross.
Yeah.
What kind of education do you get?
Right off the bat, I spent about 3 days just doing online trainings about all the different sorts of products, just sexual wellness, how like the different hormones work, like how physiologically the different parts of your body and anatomy and how they respond to different stimulation. And then there's a lot of information just within the store. People who work here, we talk amongst each other. We're constantly like enlightening each other on different things and stuff. You kind of have this preconceived notion about who's going to be working at an adult store. And even before I worked here, I kind of just envisioned a creepy older man, and that would make me like not want to go into the store. But like in reality, there's a lot of younger people. There's a lot of people who are in the LGBTQ. There's a lot of people who are working there who are way more friendly.
Yeah, the culture is changing.
It really is. I run our social media, and I'm working to make it more of an inclusive community and reaching out to different resources around the community. And I really do think that that is one of the benefits of coming in stores. There is a community, and you can know that there's other people out there who know things. And if you have questions, it's okay to have those questions.
I agree with you. Thank you. After this lovely conversation with Eva at the secret spot, I ventured down the 125 to Spring Valley. So now I am at Fantasyland off the 125. There's a couple of people standing outside, but it looks pretty big. So let's go check it out. No, thank you. Ew, these are pretty. Okay, I like all the clothes and the pasties. This shop has a variety of toys, lubes, pumps, clamps, and videos. The person behind the counter asked me if I had any questions, and well, you know I did. How many locations do you have?
In total, 5 here in San Diego. Each store has like a different amount of arcades. This one is the better of our stores when it comes to sales up front.
What do you sell the most here?
Mainly male enhancements for the most part, lubes second, and toys the third. And we have lingerie at more reasonable prices.
You sure do. You have a lot of lingerie,
Yeah.
and you're right, it's decently priced, and there's a variety of sizes. I left there with a new bodysuit and attachment for a toy I already have. Then I headed out to the next place. Just pulled up to Adult Emporium in Barrio Logan. I've never been in here. I have no idea what to expect. I think they have an arcade or a theater, pretty sure, but let's check out the toys. Oh yeah, a ton of DVDs. All right, more lingerie. This is cute. Is that rubber? Lots of rings. Oh, interesting. I've actually never seen one of those in person. Okay, so I think this place is mostly for videos. There are a few adult emporiums in San Diego, and if you need something fast at any time, day or night, they are some of the few spots open 24 hours a day. After the Adult Emporium, I made my way to Hillcrest, where my go-to shop is. Romantics on University may be small, but it is well-stocked, and every single person I met behind the counter is just a gem. They are kind, non-judgmental, friendly, and really helpful. It is a great place that you can just pop in and out of, or you can take your time and ask questions of the well-informed staff. Up the street from Romantics is Humanity, which is really well curated. They lean more towards men and masked people with things like collars that fit bigger necks and outfits that are more masculine than the bras, skirts, and thigh highs you find in most shops. Also, lovely and friendly people in there. I continued on University and found Lover's Paradise, which I'd never checked out before. Good, how are you? Do you have electro play stuff?
Yeah, one thing. It's that purple stick down.
All right, thanks. Yeah, this was the same thing that was at the other place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. You know, a lot of people sell these. You remember the Crypt from forever ago?
For 2 years.
Oh, well, the Crypt was here a long time ago.
I'm from the Bay. Sorry, continue.
It's all the same people. There was one in Long Beach, too. And I think when the person who owned it died, their kids just gave up on it, or they ran into the ground. I don't know what happened there.
And in Denver, too.
Denver, too? Oh, wow. I didn't know they were that big. But yeah, even 20 years ago, they had all the electro stuff. So I really didn't know the whole story behind the Crypt's closure, nor did I know how big of a chain it was. When I went down the internet rabbit hole, I found that the Crypt opened its doors in San Diego in 1977. It had locations in Seattle, Denver, and Long Beach, and it catered to the kink community with leather goods and specialty bondage and BDSM gear, alongside costumes and the typical toys you find in sex shops. I found a few sad articles dated August or September of 2015 about the Crypt closing their doors. One reporter in Denver sounded like they wrote the article with tears in their eyes as they cited unpaid taxes. It was a loss for the kink and LGBTQ plus communities for sure, but there are many more stores out there keeping the healthy kink vibe alive. Back at Lover's Paradise, Travis explains how their inventory is tailored for their clientele.
Well, I mean, we sell what sells the best. That's why our wall is pretty tamed. It's pretty introductory, elementary kind of stuff. We've had that little shocker for maybe almost a year, but we sold 1 or 2 of them. Not that hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, do you want to try it out?
Actually, yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what do you sell a lot of here?
Lube, essential cleaners, little bit of everything if you really think about it. But a lot of older women who don't know their bodies well enough because sex is still kind of taboo to them, kind of get a little bit of everything just to figure out their bodies. So some get one, some get vibrators, dildos. I think this should work. I don't know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Ooh. That's a pop. Okay. I like the one that has the constant stream. There's like blankets you can put people on, and then you hold something, and then you can just shock them with your hands. And there's also things like this that are less like pop.
It kind of sounds more intense than how it feels, right?
Have you tried it?
No, I have a heart condition.
Okay. It does have a pretty sharp like snap of a rubber band.
Okay.
Whereas the other ones would be less intimidating than this, honestly. You can turn it up, but it would be like...
You want the electro play, not just like a stabby kind of thing.
Exactly. And I think those would probably sell more than this, in my opinion.
You know what brand? You might be onto something, because this one, I feel like it's pretty dominatrix-y. The fact that they're able to like ramp it up. And I went to 2 other stores today who had this, and they said the same thing, that this was sitting on their shelf. After Travis at Lover's Paradise did some digging around for electro toys for me, I asked him about his observations and opinions from working in an adult store in Hillcrest. What do you think the fear is for people coming into a shop?
It can be overstimulating. It's a lot of in your face, and there's that, again, kind of stigma. So it's kind of just intimidating. It's very intimidating, especially when you don't really know your bodies. And sex is not really spoken about. It's very private behind closed doors. So you have a lot of elements that can shy people away from these type of stores.
And what do you do personally to make people feel less shy?
Well, first, I want to read the room, make people feel comfortable, greet them happily with a smile. And if they're looking at a product, I want to make sure I'm keeping my distance and I'm not really in their face about, specific things.
Yeah. And this is a busy shop.
Yeah, it's always busy.
It's perfect. It's good. It's really friendly and clean and bright and not...
It's not seedy, right?
Yeah.
We try to keep things clean and classy here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you.
When we come back, I continue my journey of the sex shops in San Diego and have some interesting conversations with the people who work in them. You might be surprised at what they have to say. Stick around.
Most plastic doesn't get recycled. It just ends up in the landfill. Instead of trashing it, you can reuse that container by refilling it at Earthwell Refill over and over again. You can refill laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoos and conditioners, even toothpaste. You name it, and Earthwell Refill has it. All natural products that are good for you and our community. At Earthwell Refill, we make it easy to live a more sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle.
Welcome back to Everybody's Doing It with Miss Lolly. Today I'm taking a tour of the adult stores in San Diego, and I'm taking you with me. We started our excursion in Santee, then went down to Spring Valley, made our way to Barrio Logan, and into Hillcrest. So at this point in my journey, I'm noticing a big difference in the types of shops out there. I put them into 2 main categories: shops with theaters or arcades, and shops without. Theaters and arcades are places you can go to rent porn and watch it on-site in a private booth. Or you can buy a ticket to a small movie theater where various pre-selected films are playing for you and others. With a few exceptions, the main things sold in most shops with arcades and theaters are performance enhancement supplements. The people behind the counter seem to know a lot about the male and female enhancement aids and which of them people tend to like. I had to do a little bit of research to find out what these enhancements actually are and how they work, and don't worry, we will talk a lot more about this later in the episode. Now I'm doubling back a bit to go downtown to Hustler Hollywood on 6th Avenue. This is the only stop on our tour that is corporate and more of a big box store. This one, I think, is 3 stories. I have never actually been to the top floors, but somebody said that there's much more upstairs, so I'm going to go check it out. Since the only other time I'd been in here, I hyper-focused on the lingerie and apparently missed half the store, I decided this time I was not going to get distracted by the cheesy bachelorette novelties and pretty outfits, and instead go straight up the stairs. Hi, thanks. Aha. Okay. There's a variety of toys here. Some videos. Tugger. Door jam, sex swing. Floggers. We got the classics. The Jackrabbit. I think that was one of my first toys, and I was like 18. And look,
an entire case of Electro. I'm pleasantly surprised. Hi. How much is this guy? I've been looking all over town for this, and I never thought that you guys would have it.
Not only did they have toys I've been trying to find at other shops, but they also had BDSM tools that were beyond floggers and restraints, bigger ticket items and machines, and they had several huge walls of fleshlights of all shapes, sizes, and functions, and many other things I'm not allowed to describe here due to the R and not XXX rating of this show. The only other shop I could think of comparable in size and scope was the Barnett Avenue Adult Superstore, which is an absolute favorite of mine, and it's open 24 hours a day. They do have an arcade, but this is one of the few places where the arcade doesn't feel like the main focus of the shop, even if it is most of the store's revenue. Every time I go to the Superstore, I find something new. The staff is helpful and informative, and they have an extensive lingerie section with wigs, shoes, and much more. So I left downtown, headed towards Old Town, and prepared myself and my credit card for the Barnett Avenue Adult Superstore.
Parking lot looks pretty full today, so let's go see what's happening inside.
Unfortunately, the store was fairly busy, so in order to respect the privacy of those around me, I could not record any audio inside the shop. But I left with a few new things and a wish list. I also had a pretty lengthy conversation with one of the people behind the counter about the variations in the female anatomy and which toys work best for specific depths and distances between things. And we talked a bit about the arcade. While on this winding path of stores and arcades in town, the name Jolar kept coming up, which I had never heard of, so I looked it up. Jolar is a large arcade and theater that has been around since 1978. So, of course, I had to add it to the tour. I think this is going to be my last stop on my tour of sex shops and theaters in town. I didn't make it to every single one because there's just so many, but I've been hearing a lot about Jolar Theater and Arcade, and I've been told that they have a lot of booths and one or two very large theaters that everybody goes in together. I don't know that I am so brave that I would want to do that by myself with some strangers, but I haven't been inside yet, so I really don't know what the vibe is. It does say that they have novelties and lingerie, so I'm sure it's not just the theater. And they are open 24/7. But we are going to find out what it's like at 5 p.m. on a Saturday. Okay, I'm going in. Okay, so none of the audio in there was appropriate. It was hilarious to hear Christmas music and porn at the same exact time, but I don't want to get in trouble. So we are not going to use any of the audio from inside Jolar. I did not go into any of the theaters, but the woman behind the counter explained the setup to me, and she had a lot to say about the sexual enhancement supplements. So in the name of research and their 2-for-1 sale, I bought 2 sexual pleasure power shots and got some honey for free. And yes, I will tell you all about that later. When we come back, I talk with 2 shop workers who've been in the industry for a long time about what is so appealing about working in this particular retail industry. And I get a lot more information about supplements, lubes, toys, and more.
Hello, this is Dr. Michael Lalage, Medical Director and Chief of Staff for Kaiser Permanente San Diego. For more than 50 years, San Diegans have entrusted their health care to us. Our care and coverage connect to provide medical care tailored to each member. With our integrated network of primary and specialty care, we work together using evidence-based medicine to help deliver positive results. We believe in a healthy and engaged life with good beginnings and dignified endings. We believe that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness requires total health, including equal access to high-quality, affordable health care. At Kaiser Permanente, our cause is health. Our passion is service. We work to help make lives better. To learn more, visit kp.org/San Diego.
Welcome back. We have been on a tour of sex shops in central San Diego, and I've been happy to discover that many shops in town have well-informed and kind people working behind the counter. Several people told me that they get monthly trainings about their products and sexuality in general, and everyone I talked with made me feel comfortable with any weird questions I had about specific toys and aids. 2 people I met, Daniela and Silas, had been in the industry for 5 and 10 plus years respectively, and they let me pick their brains about working in the adult store industry and the benefits of toys and coming into the shop. Unfortunately, the owner of their store did not get back to me to give me permission to use the name of the shop in their interview, so you will just have to guess which one it is by the pretty obvious clues I'm dropping about one of my favorite and larger stores in town. Why do you work at a sex shop instead of like Target?
Just enlightening someone or opening up someone's mind to something that they didn't think about or something that they're not used to. There is like serious health concerns. For example, for guys, when they get older, the doctor's going to tell you probably should get some kind of prostate toy or something like that. Postmenopausal women, also have specific needs. So besides just helping someone out in the bedroom with their husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, just to have fun on a Friday night, that makes it more rewarding than just working at a regular job.
Yeah, usually for the most part, they don't really know what they're looking for. So once you start showing them the options, they just get their face just switches to like it's like a kid, like learning all this new stuff and all this new toys that they can play with. For like clitoral stimulation toys, a lot of women, they've never heard of it. And it's like, yeah, you don't want to insert this one. Like this one's just for your clit. And then just like, wow, I'm so excited that you've never tried them. And now it's like your turn to do it. And it's going to be like amazing. And then as well as he was saying, like, it's good to hear like that we actually helped them and then that he actually enjoyed the toy that we recommended.
Yeah, definitely.
You said that when you started, you felt really comfortable right off the bat talking about sex. Why do you think that you are so comfortable with that subject?
I just feel like I've always been really open. Anybody can tell me anything and I won't be judgy or anything. And I feel like that's the mentality that you have to go into this industry with, something that you're just open.
Yeah, I agree. It's usually a certain type of person or whatever that is already kind of more open-minded.
When you see people walking into the store, what is your strategy for telling them about things and getting them to be more comfortable?
Well, that is a good question because of people's stigma about coming to sex shops. So we always greet them, and then I like to give them a few minutes before I approach them. Some people, when they get in there, they start looking around and go, oh, there's the lingerie, that's what I was looking for. Or there's the BDSM stuff, that's what I was looking for. Other people just want to kind of meander and see what there is. So I like to give them a few minutes and then kind of greet them again and say, hey, do you have any questions or were you looking for anything? Kind of put you in the right direction. And that helps to let you kind of feel them out. Because some people right away are like, oh yeah, I want to know about this. And other people are like, oh no, but thanks.
That's usually what they do. They'd be like, oh no, we're good. And then after they start seeing everything and they realize that they really don't know what they're looking at, they're like, hey, actually, I do have a question.
You kind of want to fill the person out because some customers will want you to just stay with them.
Yeah.
And like shop with them kind of. And other ones are like, cool, I'll come get you if I need you, buddy,
What's your process for figuring out what somebody really needs when they don't know?
Yeah, usually just go and be like, hi, like, are you looking for something specific? Like, it's like, is there anything that you are interested in? Start asking questions as far as like, are you looking for vibration or non-vibrating, or just like, are you looking for insertables or just for outside, or just asking questions and let them answer, kind of figure it out. And at the same time, just tell them what we have and then them realizing like, oh yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for.
I know a lot of shops have a variety and kind of like a spectrum of things, but you guys have everything from the tiniest little bullet to full-on sex dolls.
Yeah, and sex machines, and we got it all.
Yeah, we do try to have a little bit of everything for everyone.
So what kind of stuff do you see, say couples, what do couples come in for?
Usually pills, I would say, and if they don't know a lot, they would just get like a little vibrator. And then we try to always like show them all the varieties that we have, specifically this one couples toy that we love to sell. It's one of our best sellers.
There's barely any toys on the market that actually are designed for a couple to use during sex. I'm talking about straight couple. And the toy she's talking about, it lets a couple use it together during sex, or she can use it on her own, and he can even be controlling it from miles away. We sell a lot to military couples because he can be in a foreign country controlling the toy that she's using. They
can be like on FaceTime, and then he can be controlling it with his phone.
Yeah, those are super popular.
Lube, I guess.
That's the most common thing people forget. And they come back 5 minutes later. I forgot the lube. So we always ask them, do you need lube or that kind of thing, especially since even if they have lube at home, they should really have a water-based lube if they're using most toys. So sometimes you guys say, do you have a water-based lube, already?
Well, depending on the toy they're getting, you have to ask. Or if they're getting like a silicone toy with a silicone lube, you have to ask like, are they going to use it together and all that?
Yeah, because you need to be using a water-based with a silicone toy.
And you sell quite a bit of bondage gear too. Do you get a lot of questions about the bondage gear?
People don't want to ask. When people do, if younger people are coming in or someone that's getting to BDSM like for the first time, or is like beginner, that kind of thing, and they ask me, what should I know? And I'm like, before anything, you need to trust the person, okay?
Yeah.
That's number one. That is the biggest thing. If you don't get out of this section in general, don't even go there. Like,
no, we've been getting people too that get stuff from there, and then they come back and they're like, well, she didn't like it because she didn't know, and it's like, you can't return it, but it's like, you should have asked her first if she was up for it.
Do you find yourselves giving a lot of sex education?
Yeah, all the time. Constantly, yeah.
Like what?
Oh yeah, we're definitely having to educate people. I as a male will educate a woman on her own body, or that kind of thing. And that happens all the time.
You don't tell them just about the toy, you tell them specifically about the anatomy and everything. It's like school, and it's like, so how does this even work? What materials are better? And like, what lube can I use? And then you end up just giving out a lecture. Some people don't even buy anything after it. They just like to know.
So you guys are kind of like sex librarians.
Yeah, I would say so.
In a way, yeah.
Except for you can't return the books.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And they've tried too.
Yeah, they will try,
What do you guys wish people knew?
I wish that they knew it was okay to come in the store and that you're not a big pervert, because sex is a perfectly normal, healthy thing, whether it's just you or with partner or multiple partners. Like, it's something that any doctor would tell you should be doing on a regular basis. I think the last time I heard was guys should be ejaculating 21 times a month or something like that to keep away, prostate issues and testicular issues, something like that.
The health benefits are a lot. Also, between couples, just getting toys, it also helps in their relationship. It just like helps them get closer, they bond. It helps them connect better, like your partner more. And then if you're able to give them more pleasure than what you usually do, then that just grows the relationship even better,
Being open-minded and trying more things sexually, that outlook of this isn't dirty or wrong or something like that. And not only is it okay, it's healthy and it's something I should be doing, I think is more important than any specific toy. Because if you don't have that outlook, you're not even going to go try a toy. Just in general, just don't be scared. Because, I mean, first of all,
you can't be scared, because then you won't find the right toy for you. Like, you have to tell us exactly what you want and what you're looking for, or else you end up buying something that you don't even. I also don't settle for the cheapest thing. It's like, we're talking about your body and what you're putting inside. So you gotta, it's an investment, and at the end, it's gonna be worth it.
Definitely.
Because you would end up paying more if you get like an infection or something, if you get just like the cheapest toy.
So why would a cheaper toy cause an infection?
The materials that they're made of.
And if they don't take care of it well, if they don't wash it, if they're not using the right lube.
Yeah, hygiene stuff with toys. Yeah.
And just silicone is just easier to handle. It's not porous, so it doesn't get the bacteria in it. You still have to wash it, obviously, but it's just not, it's harder for it to give you an infection.
One misconception that I guess I maybe would like people to know also is people seem to have this misconception that silicone lube is bad for the vagina. And we have meetings with companies, the toy companies, lube companies, every few months or so. Actually, about every month. They've even said that that's a misconception. Water-based lube, you're made out of water. And the vagina can absorb. So when you're using water-based lube, your body can be absorbing stuff from the water-based lube, and it can have glycerins or parabens or stuff in it you don't want to be absorbing. Whereas silicone lube, your body can't do anything with. So if you ingest it, it just comes out of you. When you wash after sex, you just wash it off. Your body can't absorb it, can't do anything with it.
It also lasts longer. With the water base, you have to reapply it every so often.
And it gets sticky, the water base. It gets sticky and tacky, so it's annoying. So
it also stains in your sheets or clothes sometimes.
Silicone can stain too.
You said that you get education from lube companies, is that correct?
Every company that we sell, or like most of the companies that we sell, we get meetings explain the toys and their products, so we can like explain to the customers.
So what I'm hearing is people going into a shop for maybe the first time, or maybe they're looking for something new, but you guys are huge resources for them. Not only do you have education on each toy, but you have meetings and get education on lubes. You're very knowledgeable on the things that you're selling, and you don't have the judgment I think people walk in with.
I mean, I hope they know that we don't have the judgment.
But, and that's what we're there for, is to help.
Exactly.
Is to help, or to educate them.
In all of the shops I went to, there were well-informed, inviting, and polite people behind the counters. When I asked about specific toys, they all had answers or would look things up for me. No one made me feel that my questions were dumb or weird or gross, and I walked away with at least one thing I was excited about wearing or using, which made this episode the most expensive episode to make yet. I also got a chance to look and touch some things I have never seen in person before. And since I'm not allowed to describe these things in detail here, you will just have to find out for yourself. From my observations of this industry in and around my area, I surmise that there are two main categories of shops: the ones that have a theater or arcade, and the ones that only sell toys. The places where you can stay and watch videos do also sell toys and lingerie, but it seems that they sell more sexual enhancement supplements, and I'll let you draw your own conclusions as to why that might be. We have come a long way since the days of the Institute of Marital Hygiene. Today you can find toys at Spencer's in the mall or even Rite Aid. But better yet, you can go to a community kink and sex-positive event like those at the Soap Factory downtown and talk with a vendor who handcrafts fun toys. Or you can go where sex is not taboo and the staff is there to help you find what you need and what you didn't even know you wanted. Yes, online is always an option, but the information you get from an in-person exchange with trained and informed retailers or curators is really priceless. If you are nervous to go into a shop, I get it. I do. But remember that the people who work there went into that business for a reason. They are not shy, and they have probably heard it all and then some, so you won't make them blush. And as for my experience with sexual supplements, Silas and Daniela had a lot to say about them, which was so helpful for me to understand what I was going to get myself into. I added that audio and something funny after the credits if you're interested. Thanks for going on yet another journey with me on this season of Everybody's Doing It with Miss Lolly. All episodes are created by your host, Miss Lolly, for Bad Form Media. Our executive producer is Parker Edison for Meridian Arts. Edgar Almanar is our fantastic editor, and our sound engineer is Luke Henshaw of Penguin Studios. Theme music arranged and played by Miss Lolly. Technical and operational support provided by KPBS technical producer and sound designer Adrian Villalobos and KPBS producer Julio Ortiz Franco. Lisa Jane Morissette is KPBS Director of Audio Programming and Operations. You can subscribe and find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explorer Content Fund. So before I took this mystery supplement, I looked up the ingredients to see what it is and why it could potentially increase libido in men and women. I took the advice of the woman at Jolar and bought the product that had the best customer reviews and the one that she said she tried herself. When I started reading the fine print and looking things up, I was not surprised to find that there were no differences in the ingredients in the drink labeled for men and the one labeled for women. It's the exact same thing. And the ingredients sounded a little familiar. So I picked up a 5-hour energy drink, and sure enough, there were a lot of the same things minus the caffeine. What the 5-hour energy drink did not have that the sexual enhancement drink did have was essentially a blend of herbs that help testosterone production, circulation, blood flow. It boosts serotonin and dopamine production and wakes up the nervous system. I was a little nervous to ingest this concoction since I'm sensitive to stimulants of all kinds, but the dose I planned to take was very low. I also got a free dose of honey, so I tried that as well. The honey only had 2 main ingredients, just honey and Eurycoma longifolia, which I know I'm pronouncing very wrong. It is a root of a plant that grows in Southeast Asia and is used for healing digestive issues, fevers, and all sorts of things. So I made some tea, I added the honey, and I waited a bit to see if I felt anything, and I didn't. Then I drank half a dose of the drink and waited and didn't notice anything. Then I drank the other half of the dose and waited. And yeah, I see what they mean by stamina. I wasn't caffeinated or anxious, but I did have energy and drive to be in the moment and to keep that moment going. And I felt pretty good and a bit more sensitive to the touch all over my body. The downside was that I did end up with a little bit of a headache hours after, and I had a harder time getting to sleep that night even though I was really relaxed in my body. But remember, everybody's brains and body chemistry are different. This is just my experience of these 2 specific things, and it doesn't represent the experience that you might have. Also, please consult a doctor if you are taking medications or have other complications that might amplify the effects. I am not a doctor. But yeah, that was my fun experience with supplements.
They do work, but it depends on the person. Like, everyone has a different metabolism, a different body, and each of the things is kind of like different blends of the same stuff. So you just gotta find which one works for you.
If we're talking about the pills, there's different potencies. They also have different blends. And it'll say on the package, this is the gold blend, this is the blue blend, this is the red blend, whatever. And if you try a pill and it works for you, you can kind of then go, okay, I know the blue blend is kind of works for me, is good for me. If one pill says it's a certain potency, another pill says it's a higher potency, the lower potency pill might actually work better for you because of the blend that's in the pill. The honeys and the chocolates don't quantify how strong they are. The pills almost always do. I'd say that one of the biggest side effects would be headache. Now, the headache, though, comes from dehydration.
If you're drinking, that would definitely affect it.
Yeah,
I've
for
tried
both
some pills
genders.
while I was drinking, and definitely gave me like the worst headache of my life. Like, definitely be careful with that, drinking your water. Like, before, during, and after. Like, just stay hydrated.
Yeah, because alcohol is going to dehydrate the hell out of you. The pill will dehydrate you.
I will say, too, they do work, but I wouldn't recommend getting them from, like, gas stations and stuff. I don't think those are...
That's what I was going to say,
those could be anything, pretty much. I would say get them from a place that you know they specialize on that.
We've had horror stories from people that got a 7-Eleven pill or a liquor store gas station pill. Guy came in talking about it turned his dick purple, it turned his balls purple, and even his legs around his groin, everything was purple, he said. And I was like, oh my God. I asked him, did you go to the ER? He said, no. I said, I waited till morning, and then it started dissipating, going back to normal. And I was like, oh shit, man, I might have went into the ER, bro. That's scary, dude.
Yeah.
So there are strange side effects, especially from, I would say, gas station pills. And anyone that is thinking about buying a pill or something like that, just ask questions. Ask the people that work there. Also, if you're concerned about what you're putting in your body, you could always try just a small amount of the pill. It's just a powder inside. You can eat a little bit, see how you react.
You also have natural selections too. Like, we have a spray that's all leaf extract, so it doesn't have as much of the chemicals and ingredients that the pills or most of the pills do. And that one I would say is way more natural, and it works better. And that one doesn't really have as much side effects. That one doesn't have the headaches. Like, if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, but it works really well if it does work.
And that one's even the one she's talking about, the spray, is even for both genders, which is nice.
What kind of title do you use at work? What would you call yourself? Because I say, what do you call
Sales king?
I'm sales associate? I don't know.
Yeah, just cashier or retail associate. Yeah, nothing too exciting.
That doesn't sound like it does it justice. Like I said, you guys are kind of librarians.
I've been called Dr. Sex.
You can call that for sure.
Let's see. The old lady called me
Dr. Dildo. Dr. Dildo, yeah.
They should call you Dr. Dildo, yeah.
I mean, I don't know,
retail sex therapist?
If you're feeling like that.
Right, yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Retail sex therapist?
Sex therapist.
Experience, for sure.
Hello, this is Dr. Michael Lalage, Medical Director and Chief of Staff for Kaiser Permanente San Diego. For more than 50 years, San Diegans have entrusted their health care to us. Our care and coverage connect to provide medical care tailored to each member. With our integrated network of primary and specialty care, we work together using evidence-based medicine to help deliver positive results. We believe in a healthy and engaged life with good beginnings and dignified endings. We believe that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness requires total health, including equal access to high-quality, affordable health care. At Kaiser Permanente, our cause is health. Our passion is service. We work to help make lives better. To learn more, visit kp.org/San Diego.